What is going on, beautiful people? It's Joe, aka the Nomad Investor, where dividends, freedom anywhere is the goal. And today we are back with another portfolio update as usual. It's Monday, it's pre-market. Well, pre-market for me. And yeah, let's dive right in. So first and foremost, if you are new here and you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean so much to me and help me stay motivated to continue making videos like these. And if you aren't new here, welcome back. If you could smash that like button, that would help so much with the YouTube algorithm and make sure more people join me on this journey. So with that being said, let's dive right in. So we are currently at 971 subscribers and 32 videos. I'm currently filming the 33rd video and the 31st portfolio update. As always, the videos on this channel are for informational, entertainment, and educational purposes only. I am not a financial professional or advisor, and nothing here should be taken as financial, investment, or tax advice. Investing always carries risk, and those seeking financial advice should seek out a registered professional. So now I'm going to dive into my game plan and goal for growing my small portfolio from $0 to $1,000 per month in dividend income. So I have two sources of income. One is remote work income, and the other is a business income. My remote work income, pretty stable, pretty consistent, been doing that for quite some time or quite a few years. And my business income, it does fluctuate up and down depending on the season of things. I have committed to contributing anywhere from $300 all the way to $1,000 plus per month into my Robinhood taxable brokerage. Now, real quick, I did get a question regarding what I do for my remote work. Because this is the internet and I don't want to disclose too much of my life, I'll just keep it simple. I work in tech. Aside from that, as far as how much I earn and all that, I won't be disclosing that at this time because, again, this is internet. There's a bunch of strangers and there's many bad actors out there in the world. Getting back into things, I'm treating this brokerage like a business, aiming for 30% plus high yield. And the way I'm achieving this is through investing into high yield income ETFs, such as the following but not limited to: WPay, HOW, QDTE, XDTE, XPay, blocks, and more. And I have committed to only having a maximum of 5 positions in my portfolio. The reason being because my portfolio isn't that large in net account value. Therefore, I don't want to diminish the amount of dividends I can get paid out by being spread too thin. And I'm going to be alternating between anchors and satellite ETFs. This is part of the core satellite investing strategy, investing approach. You guys can do your own research on this, or you can hop over to my guy Eugene Vasquez's channel. He has a video where he breaks this down flawlessly. We're going to be reinvesting the weekly or monthly dividends depending on the funds that I'm invested into at the time. And I'm going to personally be doing a manual drip strategy. So basically, I'm going to be stacking my dividends to purchase whenever the market dips below my average cost per share or even more than that. So drip plus always compounding is the portfolio growth strategy. And I'm going to be rinse and repeating this until the account hits $1,000 a month in dividend income. And again, none of this is financial advice. This is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I'm some random guy on the internet, on YouTube. Do not follow me, do not copy me. I'm just sharing my journey. Now, I wanted to share my dividend income milestones that I have while I grow my small portfolio. And this is basically so I can celebrate the small wins leading up to the bigger goal along the way. As you can see, I have already achieved the first 2 goals, and I'm on track to looking like I'll probably potentially even reach the 5th or 6th goal, depending on distributions and dividends for my personal portfolio. But you guys can pause this and see all the milestones leading up to the big one. Now, diving into the portfolio here on Robinhood. So we are currently sitting at $6,618.14. So we are looking a little bit up, and that's because we got some pretty positive news over the weekend, or somewhat positive. There's a lot of different things that are happening, but I'll dive in a little bit later. But anyways, we are up $140.32 or 2.17% pre-market. If we go to the past week, we were down 7.88% or $565.93. For the month, let's make sure this loads up. It looks like we were down 1.50% or $100.58. And for 3 months, which is how long my portfolio has been live for, it's at 3.19% or $204.41. My buying power is currently $2,429.82. I have a margin buffer of 46.60%, which is also equal to $3,049.65. My total margin used is $5,010.24. And let's dive into my positions. First, we have WPay. WPay is currently sitting at $50.11. We have a market value of $6,013.95. My total return is negative $219.21, which is also negative 3.52%. My average cost per share is $51.94. I have 120 shares as of right now, and my portfolio diversity is around 51.72% with a 30% maintenance ratio. Next is HOW, which is currently at $66.74. We have a market value of $3,337. I am up $135.36 or 4.23%. My average cost per share is $64.03. I have 50 shares and I have a portfolio diversity of 28.70% and a maintenance ratio of 30%. We also have NVDW at $47.13. We have a market value of $1,696.68. We are up $70.19 or 4.32%. Our average cost per share is $45.18 a share. I have 36 shares, a portfolio diversity of 14.59% with a maintenance ratio of 30%. And then last, if you guys watched my video that I released yesterday on Sunday, we currently have KQQQ as the newest position to the portfolio. This is hopefully going to stabilize the portfolio, but it's currently at $29.01. My market value is $580.24. I'm up $5.14 or 0.89%. My average cost per share is $28.76 or 20 shares. And my portfolio diversity is 4.99% for this with a 25% maintenance ratio. Diving into the dividend sheet, as you can see, these are the current numbers, but I like to just cover the market return and total return. So for HOW, we are currently sitting at 6.57% in total return. For WPay, we're down a negative 1%. For NVDW, 4.59% positive. For KQQQ, we are at 0.90%. And then if covering market return, which does not include the dividends that we've received, we're at 1.78% for HOW, negative 3.89% for WPay, 1.95% for NVDW, and 0.90% for KQQQ because we have not received any dividends for this position yet. And real quick, I just want to highlight this. So this is what we have received in dividends so far for the month of November from HOW, WPay, NVDW, and KQQQ. For KQQQ, we have no dividends received yet because that's a monthly payer. For NVDW, we have $15.11, so we'll see what we get paid this week. For WPay, we have $40.34, but again, we'll see what we get paid this week since I increased my position. And for HOW, we have $39.23. Each of these dividends that I've received this past week should be much greater this week since I've increased the amount of shares I own for each of these positions. And then KQQQ, I'm not sure when the declaration date for this one is, so I'm not sure if I'll qualify this month or not for their dividend payout, but we'll see. But for the month, we are at $94.68 in dividends paid out so far. And for the year, we have received a total of $410.99 in dividends. Now hopping over into X, if you guys aren't following me already, if you could give me a follow on here, that would mean so much to me. It helps me stay motivated to continue documenting my journey, both on YouTube and on X as well. If you guys don't know, I post updates live as I'm doing things in my portfolio, as I'm making changes, or as news and announcements, and I come out and I share my personal opinions. So give me a follow on there. It's at I'm Nomad Investor. Again, that's at I'm Nomad Investor. Now, real quick, I do have this pinned post that I wanted to quickly cover because I didn't do my investing journal log today, but I did log it here on X. So this is, again, today's date, November 10th, 2025. My net account value as of logging this was $6,617.06. With the margin positions included, it's around $11,623.80. My contributions so far this month have been $2,056. I have 50 shares of HOW, 120 shares of WPay, 36 shares of NVDW, and 20 shares of KQQQ. With the total margin that I mentioned and my total dividends that I've already covered. But basically, I am posting like logs somewhat here periodically. There is no cadence to this just yet because I still do log everything primarily on my investing journal, but I plan on continuing to update this over time so I can just like have this for reference in case anyone who's curious wants to review it on my X. Now, diving into some X posts. So this is from Stock Twits. This is actually a recommendation from a friend of mine named Brian. Shout out to you, my guy. He told me to give this page a follow as well as download their app, but they're pretty cool because they give like overall market sentiment and how like other people, other investors are responding towards news, towards different portfolios, different funds, etc. So anyways, they posted, "We're back." And it said, "I want you to get the word out there that we back up." And then someone commented, "But for how long though?" I completely agree. I'm not fully confident. I'm not going to sell you guys hopium or whatever and tell you guys, yes, we're going to have a green week moving forward or a green month. There's still no clarity here, guys. There's still no clarity on tariffs, and there's still no clarity on the government shutdown. Moving on, I wanted to also hop into Pay Me in Dividends X account. He said after 40 days, the Senate unlocked a path to reopen the government. That, combined with Bitcoin making a weekend recovery, is bound to push the market forward. These periodic pullbacks are tiny windows of opportunity that you have to be prepared for. I completely agree. As you guys saw, even though my account was down pretty bad compared to the S&P 500 and everything else, I was still making strategic investments into positions that I personally believe in, and I cut the fat out in my portfolio because I bought it too high at the top at its all-time highs, or bought into hype or whatever. I cut it out. I don't know. They're talking about right now in the government that there is a set plan for reopening the government, but I don't have any confidence in that yet because nothing is definitive. They haven't given a specific date yet, to my knowledge. And I'm waiting for that kind of news to go before I get super bullish and super happy. Right now, I'm kind of in a middle ground. I'm still staying vigilant, as always, as I recommend to everybody. I'm waiting to be like, all right, cool, we're good. I can kind of relax a bit now and just like keep an eye, but like more passively than I have been. This is an X post from Beat the Bots. He said, stock futures and crypto rise as new breaks that a bipartisan deal has been reached to end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this has officially been stated, but again, we don't have a date, or I'm not seeing a date, at least from everything that I've read. We'll hop into Yahoo Finance later, and we can see if we find anything specific. But it says the Dow 0.28%, S&P 500 0.62%, NASDAQ 1.06%, Bitcoin 3.98%, ETH 7.28%, Sol 7.13%. Next, from High Yield Hustle, it says semiconductors are the backbone of the new global economy. Here's some ETFs that will provide massive income through them. First is SOXY. I don't know what that one is, but it's at 12% yield. The next one is CHPY. I've talked a little bit about CHPY. It's at 40% yield. NVDW, I obviously hold this one, 65% yield, and AMDW at 86% yield. So I have at multiple times considered getting into AMDW, but I have yet to make the official move and invest into this position. I do think AMD is a big company, but NVIDIA definitely has more of that exposure. Obviously, Jensen Huang is like, I mean, he's like a rock star in his industry, right? Yeah, these are really interesting positions. I haven't checked out SOXY. I would love to check this out, but I love anything involving semiconductors personally. Next, we have another one from Beat the Bots. He said, the everyday income ETF lineup. So this is a post I really wanted to cover because it's something that I recently have been considering. And it says lineup continues to grow with 7 new funds added. 100 plus weekly pay ETFs across all sectors. Payouts every weekday, Monday through Friday. High yield, high frequency cash flow. Explore the updated payout schedule and build your own portfolio. This is not financial advice. This is just a post on X. Okay, so I just want to make that clear. But here's what they said. So if you want to get paid on Monday, these are the funds that they highlighted. They wrote BitK, Blocks, Maggie, MSTK, and QLDY. So out of all of these that are listed here on Monday, I would say the only 2 that really interest me are Blocks or Maggie. Personally, I probably would not like Maggie just because it's the Mag 7, and technically with my WPay position, I'm already getting exposure to those types of companies. Blocks, however, crypto exposure, it seems like they're managing their fund relatively well, but it is very volatile. If you've seen my last video, that's a big reason why I got out of it. Also, I mostly got out of it though because I bought the freaking top and I went in too much, so I wasn't able to DCA down like I should have. So lesson learned, don't ape in, don't be a degen like me, and instead like buy small portions and DCA down when there's opportunities to. But I think Blocks would be the winner for me here, or Maggie if I didn't have WPay. For Tuesday, I've already had positions that pay me out Tuesday, but out of these, of course, I like my NVDW. I would say I also like AMDW, obviously HOOW, and PLTW. I would say those are the ones that I personally like the most. But again, I already have Tuesday payers, so I'm not really worried about that. For Wednesday, I have WPay, so you guys can take a look at the rest of these. NVDW is very interesting, and HOII. HOI, I think, is a newer one from Rex Shares. I'm very, very intrigued by this one, and I'm going to be paying close attention. I like that they have a slightly different strategy than Roundhill does, but it's a really competitive fund, I would say. So they do 1.25x exposure, and I believe they have like some kind of options trading involved to like kind of protect it on the downside. So that's something that I feel like single weekly payer ETFs in Roundhill lack. For Thursday, AMDU, let's see here. Just taking a quick look. Yeah, so out of the Thursday section, my personal favorites that I would like to highlight, again, not financial advice. These are just like my strict opinion. Some random dude on the internet. I'm not telling you what to do. But my personal favorite is KLYD and CHPY out of these options here. So if we look at Friday, to be honest, I would probably choose more of a fund like XDTE, QDTE. I would probably avoid at all costs most of these positions, but I don't know if you guys were able to choose ETF from this list right here, or maybe not on this list. If you were to choose a weekly pay portfolio that pays you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which positions would you get into? I'm very curious. Like, drop them down below. Make sure to highlight that this one pays on Monday, this one pays on Tuesday, this one pays on Wednesday, etc., etc. All right, I'd love to hear them. I love suggestions. This is something, again, that I'm recently considering into potentially doing in the future. Now, let's see. This is the news that it's showing on Yahoo Finance. But before that, again, the S&P 500 is up on the futures 0.83%, Dow 0.29%, NASDAQ up 1.40%, Russell 0.94%. The VIX is down to 18.63 or down 4.46%, so that's good. And gold is up 2%. Senate advances a new bill to end the shutdown. Here's what's in it. So let's take a look at that. So it says a new 31-page bill to end the government shutdown was released Sunday evening and then quickly advanced by the Senate in the most direct sign, yet that the record-setting stoppage could soon come to an end. The tally of 60-40 saw 8 members of the Democratic caucus join with Republicans and was just enough to overcome the Senate's filibuster threshold. The key vote is now expected to enable the chamber to pass the bill soon, after which it will move to the House of Representatives. Then it says, it looks like we're getting very close to the shutdown ending, President Trump said Sunday evening. What? Are you kidding me, man? It says the bill will keep the government open until January 30th of next year, fund some federal programs like the Agricultural Department for the entire year, and put limits on Trump's ability to fire federal workers for the next few months, among other provisions, if it is eventually signed into law. So again, guys, it's not signed into law yet. So this is something to keep in mind. So again, be very, very vigilant. Just because we're getting a pump for more positive news surrounding this doesn't mean you can kind of just relax now and take it easy. You guys need to be paying attention because you never know. Things can change in a blink of an eye, especially with our POTUS right now. As I mentioned, there is no clarity yet. It sounds like things are getting a little bit more clear, but again, nothing is defined. Hopefully today we get some announcement or news that says otherwise. If not, we could potentially still see a red day or even a red week. The government's still shut down, even if they are having ongoing negotiations, and it seems that they've come to a somewhat agreement. However, there is no official date yet of when it's going to reopen. But again, this is positive news. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to FUD the markets or anything like that. I'm going to be playing it safe right now. So basically, I highly recommend that everybody be very cautious. At some point, you need to start working on defensive strategies. This is something that has been discussed on one of the online investing communities that I'm involved with or a part of. I'm chatting with a lot of different people. This is also a big reason why I'm starting my KQQQ position. And it's something to be mindful of if you're holding any of these positions like NVDW, AMDW, any of these weekly pairs or single stock ETFs following any of these AI companies, PLTW, PLTY. But again, if you can get in at the right point, even with a bubble, you would have been able to hopefully come up with a strategy that'll allow you to minimize the risk, minimize the downside, and again, just be more defensive so your portfolio doesn't take that big of a beating. That's just strictly my opinion, not financial advice by any means, but something to consider. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's portfolio update. I know I covered quite a bit here, but I just wanted to bring some awareness as to what my personal opinion is, what's going on in the market, and how my portfolio is doing. If you are new here and you still haven't subscribed yet, make sure to smash that subscribe button. It helps keep me motivated to continue making videos like these. And if you are not new here and watching again, if you haven't already, smash that like button. Helps with the algorithm, it goes a long way. And most importantly, if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or feedback, comment them down below. I take a look at just about every single comment that comes in, and I do my very best to comment back with just about everybody, within reason, of course. So without further ado, until next time, guys, peace.